Hey everybody, welcome back. I have a commentary video for you. It's been a little while, but I am still out there. I'm still playing matches. This is one of two of the final week of our Masters season. So our team is going through. We're trying to rack up all our points, make sure that we clinch a strong finish. We are jockeying for first place, so we have the most amount of points that you get cumulatively from how many how many games you're winning in each match throughout the season. So final scores have not been uploaded yet, but I do believe that after these last couple matches go through, we should still be holding on to first place. So congrats to the team. Really good results, really good play throughout the season here. And you guys here on the channel have seen a lot of it, most of it, at least as far as my matches are concerned. Playing against Dave, it's my first time playing Dave, although we've played his team before. And it's it was an interesting day, so we're gonna have a lot to talk about. But we'll just jump right in, make sure my whiteboard's working, which it is. So I've got choice opening up, and this one is going to be interesting, as I said, because sometimes we have to think about the difference between making excuses for a certain type of play, usually bad play, right? Like, oh, I didn't get any sleep last night, or I flew in from Vegas and I just got here an hour ago and now I have to shoot, or I didn't have breakfast. I lost my fuzzy slippers that I like to wear. Like, I don't know, it's weird stuff, right? So those are excuses, right? Trying to kind of give a reason for the bad play and make it seem like it's okay for that reason. There's a difference between excuses and explanations, but either way, your play is your play. You're responsible for what you bring to the table. And so I had some interesting personal stuff going on throughout the weekend. And without going into detail necessarily, it was definitely impacting my decision making, my stroke. Even outside of the personal stuff, I've been reworking some of my fundamentals. So there's a lot of that going on. And again, this is not by way of excuses. My play is my play, and you're going to see what comes out here. But part of what was so fascinating about this match is just how many kind of weird fluky type things happen here. So kind of a bit of a weird start. Didn't have a ton of great options to open up. And then I missed this open 13 ball. I knew the 15 was going to be a problem here that I'd have to address at some point, potentially playing for maybe a bank shot later on. But no great options there right off the bat. And sometimes that first game in a match is a little shaky just for both players trying to get into a rhythm, working to kind of warm ourselves up. And do let me know if the music level is a little better this time. I wanted to make sure to still have something in the background, but I don't want it to be drowning me out. So I do appreciate everybody for your feedback there. Okay, so right away with another look at the table here, and Dave took on a kind of deceptive cut on the 7 ball. I think his shape would have been pretty good if he had made that ball. Maybe just didn't quite spend enough time sighting that in. So from here, you're dead straight, pretty much dead straight on the 14. I don't remember if the 13 would go past the 14 in this case. These are big pockets, but this particular venue, the tables play super fast, which you're going to see how they roll in this match here. So I do opt for the 12, and I realize that playing the 12 here past that 7 ball, it's got plenty of room to cut. That'll give me better shape on the 13, 14, and potentially a way to get to the 9 after. So that's why I went for that. Missed the cut, just sighted it wrong. It does back me up a little bit here in the sense that now the 12 is blocking for the 7. So Dave's definitely got his work cut out for him. The 3-4 being tied up, the 7-5 not in a great location. So he might take a look at the bank with the 3 ball, with the knowledge that sending the 3 back here means the cue ball is going to come into the cluster 9-4. So a bit more of an aggressive play, but yeah, I got a bit unlucky with the roll. not a bad decision overall. See if he's got an edge on this 5 ball. He could try to play the 6 up top. He'd be queuing over the 14, which is obviously a little awkward. I might want to avoid that if he can thin this 5 ball. But you're still leaving the 7 ball without anywhere to go. Sometimes you just take that shot that's available to you, though. He does have the 5. It's changing his plan. Banking the 4 ball here, right? Coming cross side. Maybe send the cue ball into the 14-7. Sends it down. Good shot. 4 ball cooperates. He had to use kind of outside spin to kind of throw it in here. And he's not left with anything good on the 5 ball. You could try to play safe, but it looks like he's trying to get out. And he's got an option on the 7 down here, but you do have to be careful about your queuing. Make sure to avoid that double hit. And Dave's an experienced player. He knows how to avoid that. It's a good hit there. Dave is a skill level 7, by the way. I know that he is a 7. Actually can try to look it up here while we're working this commentary. Again, the 5 ball just continues to kind of elude him. All right, Dave is a 7 and 8 ball. Doesn't look like he has a 9 ball record. Gonna thin this 5 ball. If he can get above the 6 and the 1, this can work out for him. Okay, he did overcut that 5 ball, but cooperates thanks to the valley table pockets. And he got a really favorable touch on the 8 ball to push it away from the 15, so solved both of those problems in one shot. Worked out really well. Okay. So I think he crossed the line. He may not be on the right side of the 6 ball here. See if he's got enough to draw back around. Yeah, he was on the wrong side of the 6 and tried to get a little too much out of that cue ball. Yeah, if he had been just slightly off, closer to that pocket line from the 6, he could have easily drawn back, but he tried to get too much out of the draw stroke and ended up missing the 6. So it's do or die now. The open table, the 6 ball is going to have a pocket if we turn this over again. So I do believe I had a line on the 12, but it might have just been a little. It's not a gimme, you know, that kind of long straight in shot. And I normally trust my long straight in stop shots, but I was not feeling settled just yet. So what I opt for is the back cut on the 14 to send me around table. Open things up just a little bit, like let my kind of smooth stroke come through. See if I actually hit this good. Yeah, pretty smooth. And I'm not too worried about overrunning this because I know I'll have the, whatever this is, the 10 or the 12 here backing me up. So yeah, there I'm looking at now. I feel comfortable. I've got enough room for the bridge hand. Pop this stop shot. Shape for the 13 next. A little bit of a pinch back. So from here you can kind of draw back off the 13 to come up table, which is okay. You can also roll through this high outside. So I'm pinching back. I don't want to mess with the rails, I guess. Or also just kind of wanted to punch that in. Sometimes that's a confidence builder too. Just shoot the shot that feels good to you in the moment. Problem is now, the 15 is tempting because it's an easier shot, but the shape is a little tougher because you've got the 8 ball blocking you. The 9 ball is probably the right shot, but it's a tougher shot. Looking back on it, I definitely believe the 9 ball is the right shot here because you're going to come back and forth a bunch of times, but you're almost guaranteed to get shape on the 15, right? Like anywhere and down here on the table is going to be completely fine for the 15. So you bear down and cut that 9 going back and forth, you're going to get your shape. You'd have to really mess something up, like scratch cross side to not get shape on the 15. However, I wasn't feeling good about it. I didn't like the cut. So we're gonna spin this kind of high left, spin back around and make sure that we just get a line on the 9 ball past the 8. Oh no, we didn't. Punched off it. That's risky. I don't love that. Ended up okay. Got a favorable little kiss off the 6, but that was super lucky. We've got enough room on the 9. Yeah, you can see me like a little cock of the head and kind of breathing heavy, not settled. But this is a stop shot basically. You don't want to overplay this because remember this one. If you overhit that ball, 6 is huge. So unfortunate, but I know better. I could have avoided that. I think this is feeling unsettled, overcooked that one a little bit as a result. Now we're in a tough spot. It's jumpable. I like the jump from here. I think I do end up going with a jump. But there's stuff that can go wrong. You scratch cross side or you send the cue ball off the table. The kicks are touchy. There's certainly a 1 rail kick available here or a 2 rail kick available. You're having to call a pocket at that point and the scratch can be on. It's just a lot of sort of unknowns. I do look at behind the 6, the 1 rail kick over here, but I don't believe I felt like I had enough room to make a good hit. Again, the scratch could be on, right? You can kind of come off the long rail, the backside of the 8. It's just silly stuff can happen if you let the cue ball move too much. So I reach for the jump cue. And this is probably going to be a dart stroke because we're a little closer and we're also kind of in the center of the table. So just enough to get clearance over the 6 and to make a good hit on the 8. And I do call it, I'm calling it in this corner pocket because I want to try to get a good cut on it. But you can see, I've got like pretty good hip mobility, but this is not a comfortable place to shoot from. Okay, made a good hit with draw, which is risky. 8 ball threatens the side pocket. Yeah, a lot of movement on that ball. Just kind of hit it too full. I think Dave said something about like he was going to try to pull the light out of my way. We leave him with a pretty straightforward, he can just roll up on the 8 ball here. Yeah, a little friendly nudge. You should be able to just poke this one in. So plenty of innings in this first game. I like this though. I think he's taken a lap. He's given himself a chance to settle. He didn't rush into this 8 ball. All right, easy enough. So not a legal break. To me, further evidence of kind of feeling unsettled. So he bears down on this one, makes a good contact on this next attempt. Dry break and sizable cluster around the 8 ball. 4 of the stripes tied up there. The 10 goes, the 12 goes. 10 and the 15 rather. 12 and the 11 are packed in there. A couple options for your opening shot. I don't know if I've got the cut on the 5 or not. It's kind of a weird back cut. 13 goes inside. If you wanted to claim stripes, because we know that off the 15 we can clear up the 12, 11, or off the 10. Kind of like off the 10. If we're taking the 6 ball. 6 ball's a little straighter. That one should feel pretty good. Stayed level, good smooth stroke, good finish on that. Cut's there on the 5, but it is pretty severe. You'd really rather be down here off the 4. Let the 4 take you to the 5. Shot on the 7 ball, we can draw back from here, or we can roll through. Like high inside, we're just gonna bust this one in. I think we wanted to, yeah, the idea was to roll through, coming in and around, but staying in this area to get above the 3 and the 1. Maybe shape the 4. We knew that that zone gave us a bunch of options. The 2 does not cut. That doesn't go. What I'm looking at here is play the 4, and then how do I want to come into the pack to spread these out? We just got to be careful. We don't want to mess with the 8 ball too much. And ideally, you know, these play into the 2 ball, and it pushes the 2 ball free, gives enough room for the 8 ball to come out. So really, this is you know, just outside, not enough. Or just overcut the 4, just kind of cut it too thin. Again, this was recorded during a live stream, so the quality might dip in and out from time to time. Not in the best position here. There's not a lot of angle to work with on the 5. You can basically play this into the rail, kind of bank it in, and draw back out. I think that's what I try, but I know that the result doesn't quite go according to plan here. I also look at the 2 ball from underneath. If I can just stop it and play the 2 ball up, we might have to start to think about playing safe here. It's because the out is escaping us. Yeah, so I'm looking at practically banking this in. You shoot it into the rail to fabricate an angle. Send the cue ball up towards the 12 and the 2. So hit the 5 way too full. Luckily it didn't come completely straight off the 5 because of how much spin was on the cue ball. It ended up sort of spinning itself, curving itself away from the corner pocket. So at least we didn't sell out by way of a scratch, but shooting ourselves into a corner nonetheless. Try to play safe, you know, come thin off the 2 ball, just leave them under the pack, but there's not a great play, not a ton of reward to come from that. Yeah, I'll just try to leave him on the bottom rail. And he's got plenty of options. You know, the 11-12 is still complicated, but he should have enough of the edge of the 14 to play it in the side. The 13 goes down here in this corner. Looks like he's gonna open with that. You just kind of roll through this ball. Yeah, nice touch. And he's just got to address the 11-12. So it's good habits what we're seeing. You know, he's got that opening shot secured. He's in control of the table, but he does have to create a plan. Oh, we went after him here. Got the hit. Oh my goodness. Almost sends the 8 ball into the side. Risky business. It's working out though. Straight on the 14, you can maybe pop this over for the 9 ball. The 12 and the 11 are now freed up on this side. The 15 takes you to those. So not gonna... He got a little funny on the 9. He's not gonna love that. Yeah, he's gotta come with something here unless he changes his plan and goes for the 15 instead. Yeah, he's going to look at the back of the 15, so that's where we're headed. Hard to hold this ball, so I think you just shoot it, let it run into him. Oh, he tried to stay above him. Not gonna love that either. Going aggressive here is super risky. The back cut on the 9 or the straightforward cut, I mean, either corner pocket is there, but why risk it when you can play a simple safe? Just lock me behind the 12. Unfortunately, he let it leak out a little bit. 3 ball does go. So we get back to the table with a really great opportunity to tie this up. So you play an assertive stroke on the 3, and it will send the 1 ball towards the side pocket. And you could either shape the 1 or theoretically the 2 if you let the cue ball drift up table a little bit. Stay level, nice and smooth. Okay, so I came in a little too thin onto the bottom of the 1, but that would have been, I think the better play would have been to let the cue ball sort of roll through that 3 ball into the 1 to push it towards the side pocket. I might not have thought about it that way at the table. Easy to make call outs here in the box, you know. So we're a little funny on the 1. It does go past the 9, so the play could be play the cue ball off the 9 or off the 1 ball here, past the 9, and back across table to the 2. And I like the feel of these. And a confident long bridge on it. Good smooth stroke. We hit that well. A little flirty with the side. We didn't need to drill in quite that much, but we're okay. Even though we have a bit more of a cut on the 2 ball than we would like. You could try to pop it off the 2 and play back up table. Maybe the safer play would be to let it sort of roll through so that you come down table a little bit and get under the 8. But I think I'm trying to shape the 8 in the side. There's a lot of ways you can come off the 11 ball at an awkward angle, at a dangerous angle. Yeah, we're gonna elevate. We are elevating too, so. Played the 2 ball well, but man. Oh, a little kiss of death off the 8. Brutal. That's how they get you. Just move them all out of Dave's way and give him ball in hand. So he's got a super straightforward out here. I mean, you'd be hard-pressed to mess this one up at Dave's level. So you just want to give yourself an angle on the 12 that sends you towards the 9. This works here, just to pinch back. Good habits. He's not rushing this 12 ball. Comes around to check his line on the 9 ball. Yeah, knows where he's going. Resettles again. You like to see that. Good shape on the 8. I end up giving him that one. That one's okay. We don't need to see that. All right, back in again. Costume change. Just finish up this commentary here. So Dave's up 2. And it didn't take too long for him to get there. I'll have to see if we can start to level out. But he's got open choice here on the break, which we always like. And in a lot of formats where you'll play, not APA, but a lot of formats, as long as you make a ball, you do have choice. I do like that rule in general. Just think it adds a dimension of strategy. There's plenty of rules in APA that still cater to lower skill level players. Take what you make rule is an example of that. So he opts for the stripes. You can see that the 9-13 is a little bit of a cluster, but the combo is on. So long as you get good on the 9 ball, which maybe he's playing for that right now. Nope, he decided to go down table. Interesting choice. I'm not really sure why he did that. I think you could have punched off. You get a cross table for the 9-13. And then shape from the 9-2. The 10 might have been a little tricky, but maybe just a mistake there. So he's down on the bad side of this ball. I mean, he's got a pocket for it. You could theoretically send this to the side. Oh, he kind of banked at it. All right, clustered up the 4 ball. I do seem to remember that the 3-ball will go, but it's very thin to the outside of the pocket. Yep, that's what I immediately look at. 4-ball does not have a pocket, so we'll have to break it out either off the 6. You need the right angle on that. Or maybe from something up table. I guess the other thing is if you get short side on the 4-ball, you might be able to play a simple safe, but it's easy for that to go wrong. So definitely some work to do here in this rack. Just clear out this 3-ball. So this takes a really accurate hit. We're just gonna roll through. Okay, nice. And the shape was pretty much guaranteed on the 2-ball unless you really overrun that, but even then I think you're still gonna end up with a back cut. By the way, let me know, I don't remember if I mentioned this or not. Tell me about the audio levels in this one. I did adjust it down from my other sort of like lo-fi background just to fill some of the dead space, but I like the idea of using the music. I just want to make sure that it's not too loud. Okay, so here what I'm looking at basically is, do I want to get into some kind of zone to play off the 6, come into the 10-4, or if I want to be above it in the rail. It's touchy. The other thing that I consider, since I did just get in off the 3, do I have the right angle off the 1-ball to stun draw into it? And I do opt for this, even though the 2-ball is the easiest shot right now. Nice. So just kind of pulled it back. Unfortunate roll to not end up with a better look at something, but we did get a really nice breakout on the 4 to clean that up. Long shot on the 3-ball is available here. It does seem like I've probably got a cut on the 2, but that's a tough cut. You got to make sure you deliver cleanly through this 3-ball, and you'll be able to basically dig into the rail and come out and around. You might mess with the cluster a little bit. Okay, so the stroke acceleration was a little bit off there, and aim point was off too. So this is tough. I mean, again, we're solving problems for our opponent and then giving up ball in hand. So he could take this to the side, or yeah, he could take it to the corner or the side. Either way, you're going to be leaving the cue ball kind of in this area for the combo. You can just, yeah, pop this in the corner. Maybe a little bit of a back cut angle to send him towards the other balls. And I like this. Dave's got good habits where he's going to reassess if he doesn't like how something's feeling. Pop that back. It's looking good. Pretty straightforward combo here. You want to make sure that you're leaving the 9 along the rail and that you have an angle to work with off the 9. Don't take these for granted. We know that if you've ever played a combo before, you know that they can get away from you, and they are not as easy as they seem, even if they look like they're wired up. Looks like he was queuing high, like he was going to roll through it. So he did end up rolling through, which is hard to control, but got a favorable double kiss on that 9-ball. And now he does have an angle to work with. Around 2 rails for the 8-ball. Like I said, these play fast. These play surprisingly fast. He hit a good line on that. Puts that one away. Down 3-0. 3-1, that's right. But puts us over into 9-ball. But at this point, again, first match of the day, coming in feeling shaky and weird, stuff going on, like I mentioned. And there's so much that I've been thinking about with my game, all these little adjustments that I'm making to the stroke, the mental aspect, the automatic process, the performance versus practice. I mean, there's just so much going on there, and easy to say, you know, you just gotta drop into the body, just shoot the shot, you know, just let your automatic game do the work. Like, all that stuff sounds fine. But as we know, like, pressure of competition and then these compounding results, the kind of frustrations or the silly things that can happen, they really start to throw you off. So I could see him playing a safe here. Doesn't really have a great play offensively, but the safety's kind of tough. I mean, you come off the left side of the 3, it's sending it down here. Maybe you just try to hide it behind the 7 ball once it pushes off that. Yeah, that's what he tried to do. He leaves an edge on the 3 ball, but it's a good effort. It's hard to control the speed of both. I think that's something that we've talked about here. I think that's what's coming into play, is he was trying to control cue ball and object ball. And I'm in a position where there's not a great offensive option for the 3. There might be a safe on to try to hide the cue ball behind the 9 ball, something like that. But I do look at the billiard here to where if you hit the cue ball properly to deflect off the 3 ball, you'll catch the 9 to cut it in. You have to make sure that not only do you have the right angle off the 3, but that there's enough pace off of the 3. The cue ball has enough energy to send the 9 ball to the pocket. It's also a stretch, and I don't like the bridge on this one. I like to be able to just feel it on my hand. So I've got the cue extension. I do reach for the extension a bit more than I probably should. There's certainly some shots where using the bridge would be indicated, but I don't mind this one. With the extension. Yeah, good touch. Remember to like the video, helps the algorithm a lot, and subscribe if you haven't. All right, so we do manage to force a ball in, but it felt good to get that game and 9 ball down, to take advantage of a mistake on his part, a failed safety attempt, and to just snap up a game. Brings us up. We're still at a deficit, right? We're still at 2 to 4. And looking at a shot on the 1 ball where the shot itself is not super complicated. These are very makeable, but we're talking about maybe some running side spin to get down closer to the 3 ball. We'd love to see the cue ball get down into here. And these are touchy because it's spin and speed control. So not quite, either not enough spin or not slow enough to let the spin take. Favorable bounce off the point, sends us back out. We still have a line on the 3. The 3 does cut. I think I consider a safe here because if you cut the 3, the cue ball is going to be tracking off towards the other corner pocket. You could graze the 6, you could scratch, you could try to sort of drive off the 3 and pinch it back up, but then there's no positional guarantee unless you're willing to come around and try to catch this window between the 8 and the 6. Pardon all the lines, but you can see this is a pretty complicated position. I am wondering about trying to play it into here and up. Still kind of thin, the backside of the 3 ball here. We might just opt for a safe. Okay. Yeah, the attempt I think was to get down below the 5, to split the 3 between the... Yeah, using the 5 to split them. So not a good attempt. My safeties have been off the last couple weeks. Misjudging things. Bad decision, not even just execution. Gotta work on it. Gotta practice safeties, especially before playoffs and championships if we make it through playoffs. Gotta tighten that up. So from here, Dave can hold this cue ball. You can pop this in the side, maybe pinch back a little bit for the 4 in the corner. Some players will decide to run down table. Use the length of it. Yeah, I think this is the way to go. Just pinch off it. Oh, we almost scratched. This one can be a scratch if you dig into it enough. Unless you use some running side spin to get into the short rail. Okay. Oh, he's not gonna love that. He's gonna have to consider a safe. You don't really want to be banking at this ball. Yeah, maybe thin off the 5 and come back around the 6. Kind of split him again. Oh, overplayed it. Right, overplayed it. And he sold out a pretty natural cut on the 5. Position's all but guaranteed on the 6. We got to play short side on the 7. 7 does go in the side pocket, but you don't want to have to mess with that if you can get underneath it for the corner. So nice touch there, just create a bit of an angle on the 6 ball, drives us towards the 7. So just a high ball will do here. You don't need to spin this too much, but I'm gonna spin it and put myself behind the 8. Yeah, I'm laughing about that one too. Big breath. You're all right, man. It's just pool. This is a tough day, guys. This is a tough one. I was super in my head. That's such a straightforward shot for position, and I think I was just trying to get cute. I think I was just trying to get too close to the 7 ball, which is completely unnecessary, right? Like any line along here would have been completely fine for the 7 ball to get up above the 8. Now we got to kick at it, which is fine. I mean, this is a very hittable ball. It's big too because maybe you hit it on the way back, or maybe you come below it and you still have a chance of hitting it on the way out from the long rail. Kick system's working. Full ball. I think I mentioned it in a previous video, but I'm almost confident enough with this kick system to where I can start to think about which side of the ball I want to hit. That's another one where I'd like to bear down and practice it, because being able to kick at a specific side of the ball would be really advantageous at this point. Looks like Dave's attacking here, which I like. I think you could duck and just send the 7 down here, send the cue ball up table, but he's gonna try to make this. Oh, he tried. Pretty close. Just overhit it. And leaves me in a tough spot. So, I deserve it. Not only did I hook myself, but didn't really kick at it too well, besides the full ball hit, which was fine. I don't remember if I actually have a piece of this 7 ball, which is, I mean, even if you do, you're gonna clip it and then send it into this rail. The cue ball's gonna come back around. You're almost guaranteed to sell out a shot. So in this case, sometimes in a situation like this, you want to think about kicking into these. And if you come in above it, you're going to hit it. If you come in below it, you still have a pretty good chance of hitting it. If you come in to the rail true, you have a pretty good chance of making it. So to me, this felt like a big ball. I don't sight this in with my normal kicking system, which I wonder if maybe I was just rushing myself. I really should have measured this out. We end up missing it by a pretty wide margin. I mean, we came down into here. So, giving up ball in hand, he's got a 3 ball out. Oh, he's coming in super close to the 7. I guess he's playing short side on the 8. Okay, yeah, he wants short side on the 8. he's aiming that. I think he's just trying to minimize cue ball travel and pinched up maybe a bit more than he wanted to. I think the idea there, guys, is if you know that you're going to have position guaranteed right off the 7 ball, there's no reason to try to move the cue ball back around to get shape up here. You only get your position at the very end of the cue ball travel. Oh, Dave, don't do it. That's what I said. It's so shaky. I mean, both of us can play so much better than we are. He's got ball in hand on a 3 ball out, and I mean, the way that I've been playing, I don't think I would have gotten out from there either. Admittedly, I might have opened up my stroke a bit more off the 7 to get above the 8, but theoretically, I do like the idea of shortening position play, shortening cue ball travel. If we don't get out from there, I'd delete my channel. All right, 3-4. Pretty good break. Cue ball goes to the side rail, but still, I mean, good control. We're not going to look at the 1. That's okay. Making balls, we have a good spread. This is probably going to be a push. I don't think I have a piece of the 1. And even if I did, it'd be pretty touchy to get safe here. You don't really want to go risky. You don't want to try to kick in behind this. Pretty sure I go push. And with a push shot, normally you don't necessarily want to dare your opponent to make a good offensive shot. You want to push to defensive position. I do also use this opportunity to remove the 2-9 potential. Dave complimented that one. I think it's okay. There wasn't too much going on between the 2 and the 9, but get a bit more out of the push shot that way. Not only do I create distance on the 1 ball, which in this case I am daring him to make an offensive shot. He's going to attack it too. Look at him go. Hit that pretty good. A friendly rub off the 3 ball. Perfect shape on the 2. He can come up 1 or 2 rails for the 3. So Dave's starting to kind of figure it out here. But yeah, he can come up this way, or he can come back around towards the 3 that way. Yeah, he wanted 2 rails, underhit it slightly, but he's still got a workable angle off the 3. Come around 2 rails here for the 5 on the side, potentially. Oh, my mistake, that's the 7. So he's got to play the 5 first. Nice, played that well. Pretty flat on the 7. But he can go high inside, or he can try to punch off this. Looks like he's going high inside. Side left. A little bit of left-hand spin kind of warps the cue ball back around. Yeah, he's finding a bit more of a flow now. You just kind of fight this off the rail a little bit to come back up above the 9. Oh, some body movement. He's steering that one. So he didn't stay down and decelerated a little bit on his stroke, so not a very smooth stroke. You got to be careful with this one, guys. This is a scratch shot. 9's on the spot, and if you're on the side rail... Oh, we kind of bobbled it in, and... Yeah. Yeah, that hurts. He just gives me that 9 ball. That's tough. I mean, that ties it up. That he was making a good out. Big pop on the cue ball and good center table position. Got kicked up a little bit. We have a look at the 1. We're losing our cue ball a little bit tip left, but or maybe aim point left too. But we're still in good shape here. Offensively, you can cut the 1 ball. It's going to be super thin. You might need a touch of inside, a touch of right-hand spin to keep the cue ball up here for the 2. But that's hard to control, and you're using a lot of pace. So I'll probably go simple safe, use the 5 to split them. That's okay. It doesn't give him full access to the one ball, but he can go rail first. Reasonably easy to hit the one. And a decent chance to send the one down behind a blocker. Looks like he's got to curve it a little bit, maybe. Trying to make something happen here. Added a little pace to it. The 2 gets into play. So I've got an edge on the 1, and it seems like it's enough of an edge to consider a two-way shot where I make good contact, I send the 1 ball back across table, I'm also sending the cue ball towards the 9 ball with a chance of making it. I go to check my line again. I remember this feeling like a pretty safe play. Not a bad hit on the 9. Overcut it, right? Like we came to the left side of the 9, sent it down to the short rail, but pretty good two-way. It does end up blocking the 1, so he doesn't have full access to it. I remember this match though because Dave, his kicks were on. He's just kind of got a feel for them, and he makes really good kicks. Yeah, like he barely aimed that one at all. Look at this too. He gets a nice roll off the kick. I complimented that one. This is a tough position. I love my jump cue, but you are on the rail, maybe even frozen to the rail. It's possible to jump from there, but I don't have a lot of practice with that. I need to practice that more too, and it can be a little deceiving trying to jump when the cue ball's up on the rail like this. That being said, you have plenty of room between the cue ball and the 5, plenty of room between the 5 and the 1. As long as you get over the 5, you're fine. Yeah, I don't think I'm hitting high enough to get over the... Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I'm not gonna love that. So, open table, ball in hand. But I think I remember what Dave decides here. He says, I'm not trying to get out. I'm going to play the 1-9 combination. Which is valid. Combos are tough, but if you have ball in hand, make it as easy on yourself as possible. Well played. 9 goes straight in. Okay, jumps the cue ball off. A race to 7, Dave's at 5. And here's another one. Here's a nice open table. Really, the only tricky part would be the 4 to the 5, and that's not even that tricky, but look at what I'm doing. I'm attacking a long 1-9 combination where the 9's on the rail. I don't think this is just a like, you can do it, I can do it too kind of thing, because he did the 1-9 to me last game. This is a fear-based decision. Like, I don't trust myself to get out, so I'm gonna take this risk and completely miss the combination, but also the 9 goes. I'm like, what? I was like, what's happening today? What's going on? Just a super weird day. He gives me a pat on the back because I think we're both feeling it. We both know that we can be playing way better than this. That ties it up. Long, crazy 1-9 combination. There's a good break shot. Let's just change the subject. Feel less weird about this. It's a crazy match. Good break shot, so good cue ball control. You saw it hop and stay right in the center of the table. Not a great option on the 1 ball to open up outside of a safe, but I do like the safe here. You're just gonna roll behind the 5, and this is all cue ball. Do not worry about where you're sending the object ball. Weird stroke, but we get really good behind the 5. Yeah, there was kind of a hitch, like a decel to the stroke. So I don't love the look of that. I've been paying so much attention to stroke fluidity, consistency, finish, and timing and everything recently. That's all I'm thinking about. Dave's gonna hit this one because he hits everything. Oh, does get it. Is the 8-ball gonna cause problems here? Sort of. We have full access to the 1. We have enough of a back cut angle on the 1 that the cue ball can drift out below the 3. And the 3 does play. That's what I come to look at back here. I guess I'm also looking at maybe if I underplay it, consider sending the 3 up and playing a safe behind the 8. But I think it's on in the corner where I'm queuing right now. So this should work, just kind of float over. Or maybe it doesn't go because, let's find out. It might not go. I think I'm gonna try a safe here. Might just be trying a safe, kind of pinch draw. Looking at the line off the 3. Yeah, I'm gonna try to keep the cue ball behind the 8. This is hard to control though, because you're gonna be putting some pace into the 3. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we way overhit that. Tons of draw to pull the cue ball back that far. We ended up nowhere near the 8. And obviously banked the 3 ball all the way back down here, so neither worked out. I think he's got enough of an edge on the 3 to make it. 9's gonna take a lot of the cue ball though. Yeah, he didn't want that. This is a good shot though, just create distance. I might end up with an edge on the 3. A bit of a back and forth in this one. No one's running away with this game. Just gesturing to the guy on the table next to me. Take an edge on the 3, maybe try to put him behind the 5 again. It's a good try. Pretty close to getting him behind the 5. We gave up a look at the 3, but he can't do too much with this. Some players will attack this one and they'll try to just run it down the rail. Probably re-safe. Yeah, so there he was trying to hold the cue ball in this area, which he did, and then he wanted the 3 to go past this pack. Get some coverage. So what I look at there is keeping this as simple as possible. If I just play a stop shot on the 3, maybe drift out a little bit, you're going to have a cut on the 4. Don't have to do too much there. The 4 to the 5 is key. And these are all blockers, right? There's just a wall here. If you punch off the 4 and come back up table, with spin, you could theoretically come up into the 8 or between those, but there's a lot of blockage. You want to just commit to a specific zone. You can also just punch straight across and try to get the zone from farther down table. It looks like I'm going to be trying to spin back up. Oh, 4-ball bobbles out. We found the window, but hit the 4-ball pretty bad. Those are funny because it feels good to get that shape, but gotta make the ball. That's part of the game. Dave can't miss a kick. Gonna get safe again? He is. think the 8 and the 6 are blocking here. Might be able to come past the 8 to get the edge of the 4. Yeah, maybe a little bit of swerve. Yeah, I dug into it. Oh, I had almost enough of it to make it. I put him back in a bad spot. Interesting back and forth here. He gets right down on it. He's got an idea. Put me behind the 9. Oh, he fired at it. I wonder what he was trying to do. Maybe just trying to make something happen. More back and forth. Nothing easy. Got access to the 4, but not much to do with it. These are tough. You might be tempted to come off the backside of the 4, send the cue ball down table, and try to use the 6 as a blocker. It's not as easy as it might seem. And I don't have access to the right side of the 4 ball to send the cue ball down this way, because I would prefer to do that. Tangent line is going to send the 4 here, and then the cue ball comes down here, maybe with the 6 interposing. But I think I only have access to the top side of this 4, the left side as I would be looking at it on the table. So it's tricky. Hard to get safe here, and you're gonna spread these apart no matter what. There is a pretty high chance of selling out. Yeah, so I just tried to catch the 4 as thin as I could and send the cue ball around, but too much pace and split them apart and gave up a shot. Hard to tell from here if it back cuts to this corner. Okay, he's sighting it up there, so maybe there's enough pocket to make it. He'll just want to roll through here. Oh, so he misplayed that, but got a nice favorable kiss on the 8 ball to combo that in. Try to cut in the 4 ball. He had enough of it to cut it. All right, guys, can we get out? Can we get out here, please? Do this one. So you've got a lot of options on the 4 ball, right? We know that these go in so many ways, and they completely change the line of the cue ball coming off. What I like to do in this case, what I usually look at first, is I'm sending the 4 ball in pretty thin, and I float the cue ball down because I know that my window is here. Can't let it open up too much because you can't get past the 7. But floating down with speed control, maybe it's a thicker hit. Yeah, thicker to the pocket. And so yeah, this side of the pocket. Good speed control here. You get right down into that zone for the 5. And from here, I might, if I'm feeling spicy, I might play with like high inside and try to get above the 6 for the corner. I am not feeling spicy on this particular day. I'm feeling crummy and flabby and weak and silly. So we're gonna just let the cue ball kind of float down below the 6 to play the 6 on the side. Which is fine. You're minimizing travel. You even overplayed this one just slightly. And because we're so close to the object ball, we don't have that line in the side. Even from down here, it's going to look better to play the 6 in the corner than it is in the side. Trying to play this in the side is a bit of a blind cut. At least with the corner of the pockets in your peripheral. But you take what you get. You got to be able to make this one. Pop that one in. Good hit. And here I'm looking at my line along the rail. Anywhere in here is fine on the 9 ball. So we play into the 7. A little bit of outside. Even kind of low. I'm going to draw off it, I guess, to really make sure that rail was coming into play. We hit the rail where we wanted, and it's almost as bad as it could get. I mean, being down here would be pretty unfortunate, but do we actually get out? We do. Wow, he can play. We're on the hill. We had really good camaraderie. I got to play Dave again. I know that Dave's got a better game. I certainly have a better game to give Dave. And I'd like to see that, you know. I'd really like to see us step up when we're rested and settled. I want to see our best games come together. So I'm just realizing here, I went back to review it because I saw the scorecard jump up. The previous game was missing. So Dave won a game between the one that we just saw and the one that we're seeing now. Just an omission on my part, just made a mistake when I was cutting the video together. But basically, in that match, I broke and then pushed out, and then he was able to go offensive from there and made an attempt from the 5 to the 9, a billiard from the 5 to the 9. Missed the 9 ball, and the cue ball tracked back up. The 5 ball was sent away. He ended up making the 5 and made an out. So from a push out, he was able to get out, which is what brought us to the hill. And that gets us caught up to back where we are. So apologies for the omission there, but that is why we're hill. And he's got an opportunity here. He makes a good shot on the 1. Unfortunately, the 2 is in a tough spot, and he's all the way on the other end. And he's got to make a good hit. You do not want to give up ball in hand. You can hit it from the backside, but you got to be careful. All right, get freed up, 5 ball. Here we go, guys. Ball in hand, hill. And this is one of those runouts that you would set up on your table at home. Everything's got a pocket. 7 to the 8 is like most of the work that you're going to have to do. The 8 to the 9 is going to be pretty straightforward. You get on either side of the 8. Some of these are just stop shots. Stop shot on the 2, stop shot on the 4 would be completely fine. I'm on the back side of the 4 ball here because I know that a draw is going to bring me back up towards the 5. Totally valid. I think it was Ryu pointed out in the stream that, you know, you come back a little bit more off the 2 to give yourself an angle on the 4, then that sends you back up table as well. Either works here. But I like to hit my draw stroke. What can I say? Feels good. The 6 is hanging over the side pocket. There is enough to cut it. And so you pinch draw off this 5. You can bring yourself towards the 6. You don't want to roll up into the 8. You don't want to go high ball here. Even just center outside, center right is going to pull you away from the 5. Dug into that one a little too much. Certainly wanted to be farther down table, but we're still okay. This is all speed control from the 6. You kind of thin this in. You can go full into the 6 and use this rail to come towards the 7, which I like, instead of just trying to glide down and perfectly control your speed. You could also use the bottom short rail. We're using the bottom short rail. So we're on the back side of the 7, which is still workable, but now the 9's coming into play. So cutting the 7, you will graze the 9 most likely, and it can bring you up table, kind of like what I was looking at. Side pocket can come into play. You got to be really careful with this shot. But there's not really another way to roll through a 9 ball from here. You've got to try to spin it up table. Get some sort of look at the 8. Smooth touch. I was actually able to curve around 9 and threaten the side pocket. heart skips a beat kind of shot. And this one's for all the marbles. I mean, you have a cut on the 8. These are big pockets. You know that you can over or underplay this to some degree, but make your aim, right? Make sure that you're playing this clean. The speed control is essential here. You're thinning this in, you're gonna come down table. You wanna end up at least above the 9. You'd be pretty unfortunate to end up down here. But this is a situation where you just focus on making this ball. Good touch. Played it a little to the outside, which is okay. That's our speed control. That one looks good. And I get rid of that 9 ball. I'm done. I don't want it anymore. Big handshake. Dave and I were feeling it, like I said. Big breaths, big exhalations. Plenty of stress going both ways, but all in good spirits by the end of the day. Like I said, the camaraderie was really on. So really enjoyed playing with him overall. In retrospect, it's a great match. I mean, there's tons of back and forth. There's some good safety exchanges. His kicks were crazy. Certainly was not coming with my best game. I know he wasn't coming with his best. Like I said, I hope we get a chance to play again sometime soon. But a really good one. So the next match in the series, the next commentary match that you're going to see is the final Masters match for the normal season. So we're trying to clinch that first place, and then we're going to head over to playoffs. So stay tuned for that stuff. Thanks as always for being here, and we'll see you again soon.